episode of Yah'm saying. This is our YouTube episode. Yo, we are live. What's up out there in the YouTube lands? Hold on, let me see here. All right, there we go. Yeah. I gotta change that intro. I'll be forgetting, man. I made a whole different intro and I need to change it. But I work on that, man. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you got to work on. It's a lot of stuff setting up these platforms, man. It's a lot of, a lot of intricacies you have to do, a lot of trends you got to pay attention to, man. Make sure you're in the trend, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. But what's going on?
I agree, man. Look, I'm learning to appreciate, I like to say small media.
Yeah.
Because man, the work you have to go in to and how much time you really put into what you do. Now, granted, there are some people that when they talk, they sound like they know a lot.
Right.
When you dig into the information, they don't know nothing. You could tell that they never even looked at or read anything.
Oh, man.
So,
yeah,
that's facts. That, but they always fall on one political spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's how it's been with a lot of these people who have been against CRT, man. I follow a lot of black Republicans on Twitter, and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. And they just running off at the mouth, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, they just sounded straight ignorant, man. Yeah, man. But you said somebody presented a question, though.
So
before we jump in, though.
Man, the question was, which I thought was a great question. Why would minorities vote for Republicans? What are the incentives to vote Republican?
That is a good question, man. I think about that, every time I see like somebody who is quote unquote black Republican or something or other minority group, poor white people, they're a minority group, you know what I'm saying? Vote for a party that's hostile to them, you know what I mean? Hostile to them having a better quality of life, you know what I'm saying? They like to tout these things of economics and Republicans are all about business and all about but they're all about making wealthy people wealthier. You know what I'm saying? They don't, and creating bottlenecks in the system, you know what I mean? And climbing up in that ladder, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how I see it, man. I don't understand why people vote.
Yeah, which shows up in their tax policies. Usually those reforms only affect a very, very small percentage of the population. Whenever Republicans do any tax reforms, I can't understand it for the likes of me, because let me not say I don't understand. So I'm starting to understand that poor people want to be wealthy.
Yeah.
And my thought was, when I turned 18 and was able to register to vote, well, guess what my thought was? Man,
oh no, I'm losing you.
Eventually help me. And got older, got wiser, started reading up on politics, started reading, about policies and so forth. And I realized none of their policies would help me in the position that I was in as a working class.
So just to recap there, because you broke up there for a little bit. So you were saying that you were Republican. You
Registered.
voted Republican. You was a registered Republican.
I was a registered Republican when I first turned 18, so I was, I want to say 21, 22. But that's when I started following politics a little more. Started kind of educating myself, because Bush scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like, and I realized, like, yo, this dude is freaking scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this administration, like, and at that point in time, I was trying to also get into the job market, and find a full-time job. And man, it was just hard to find a full-time job. It was just hard to get ahead. And then I started realizing how policy affected me getting ahead. And then that's what kind of was the snowball effect of me kind of trying to educate myself on, how do policies affect my everyday living and my community.
Right. Right.
And that's when I realized, yeah, I probably shouldn't be a Republican.
Yeah, Republicans are hostile, man. They're hostile too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had the same sort of evolution there. Because when I joined the military, everybody was like, and a lot of people are like this when they join the military. You know what I mean? Hey, man, you need to vote for Republican. Register for Republican, vote Republican, because Republicans take care of the troops, which that's just not true. All presidents take care of the troops. And so yeah. So I was I was a Republican. I voted for Bush. Being naive of policy, like you said, being naive of policy and only doing what somebody else told me to do, you know what I'm saying? But once like you're saying, once I started doing my research, and I'm like, hold on, time out, you know what I'm saying? But, my thinking was always about, I wasn't being an individual, you know what I mean? What about everybody? You know what I mean? What about the we? You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of black Republicans are. They're the individual. This individualism. Oh, me, my, I. You know what I'm saying? And once I broke out of that, I'm like, hey man, hold on, time out. This ain't. Some things just ain't right, man. Some things just ain't right. And what really changed. And I started changing once the economic crash happened. And you start seeing it was a lot of the policies, of course, that was happening with Bush starting two wars, cutting taxes, and expanding the government with Medicaid and Medicare. You know what I'm saying, and these things that he was doing. I was just like, yeah, man. No, and I saw who was getting affected. Right, people that look like us. You know what I mean, was getting affected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as they're closing down local community centers and so forth to take that money that used to go there to pay for, government overages and other things like the war and other things, because people don't realize how even state helped fund the federal government.
Right.
So and people don't man, the conversations I have with people, they literally don't know how this government is funded.
Yeah. They don't understand that. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of these positions that people get elected to, like, they are getting paid with our tax dollars. We get to tell them what to do. They don't get in these positions and just get to go willy-nilly and do whatever they want to do. And I think that a lot of that is, a lot of people it's that ignorance, man. The politicians know, what I mean? Again, there's mostly the Republican Party, right? That use this ignorance to make people think that they are hired into these seats. Like, no, you're elected by the people for the people. You know what I'm saying? And you should go in there and do the people's bidding. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just like, I think I told you this. I sent something to Lindsey Graham. He showed up in the border of Arizona or something. And he was talking about, oh, yeah, I'm here to secure the border. And I was like, awesome, man. I'm glad you're securing that border from them people from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the city of South Carolina. Why you in Arizona? That's not why you worried about that, man?
Right,
I
right.
get it. I get it. The federal interest, but for you as a a state interest, that's not that's not your concern, man. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
it doesn't help anybody in South Carolina.
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
help nobody, man. You know. So
And this is the problem with the Republican Party, because they're so busy chasing culture tail that people can't separate um, local policy from political aims, and they associate them as the same, and it's just like, no, man, like you can literally see like what Ted Cruz does is literally only for political aim. It
yeah,
has nothing to do with any policy or anything. Same thing with Lindsey Graham.
same thing.
Same
Yeah,
thing with
man.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna throw Chris Coons. Same thing. Like you can go down the line, man, and these people, once they hit that national stage, it's no longer about policy anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not. It's about earning money. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, all right?
Yeah.
She's there doing all these
Yes.
antics, and she's not trying to, do, what's best for the people. She's just there. She's earning money. I think she's earned like $3 million or something ridiculous like that. You know what I'm saying? Out here, just being crazy, man. Just being straight
She
crazy,
raised more
man.
money than Nancy Pelosi in the
It's
first quarter.
crazy, crazy. And there's people who are donating to this craziness, man. That's why I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, man, like, look, man, you have to hold, people are like always time, well, you can't put, just call all Trump supporters, bigots and all this other stuff. Like, no, they supported it. Like, what else do you want me to, what else do you want me to say? You know what I'm saying?
Because by definition, that's what it is. Like if you know what I'm saying, anybody that supported policies from and people like to shout that this is an extreme, but it's really not. When you're looking at the political history, Mussolini, Hitler, people that supported that stuff was like, you were supporting it for a reason.
Right. Yeah,
You
yeah,
you've
man.
seen a possibility in a game for yourself.
Yep. Yeah, man, and that's why I say, like, like I say, I followed a lot of these black Republicans, on Twitter there, man, and they, a lot of them are there. It's weird to figure out their aim. You know what I'm saying? What it is that they're doing. They got this so-called quote unquote conscious conservative movement. I don't even know what that means. It sounds like an oxymoron, because I don't know how you can be conscious and be a conservative, right? Because the whole point is you want to conserve. They're really trying to change the meaning of conservatism, right? You know what I'm saying? For some reason, they think that the right only has a monopoly on, on economics, building a business, fathers in the home. You know what I'm saying? They believe this stuff, man. But at the same time, I'm like, how can you sit there and be a black person and try to funnel other black people to a party that's hostile? You know what I mean? An ideology that's hostile to black people, man. Like, how can you look in a mirror, and say that you are doing something correctly, you know what I mean? Or you're doing something for the betterment of the community, like that, or the culture, you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. That's
For
just
me,
crazy.
man, we can have a fun exercise right now. Let's break down the two words of conscious and conservative.
Yeah.
And consciousness is also realize what is conservative, and you realize what they are trying to conserve. You start realizing these very black people are trying to help a mindset of supremacy to survive.
To survive, man. Yeah,
and,
man.
and and they haven't came to that realization of what that is. And because it's hard for you to see past money.
Right. And that's what it's about. That's absolutely what it's
Bingo.
about. It's money, man.
They're making money
Mm-hmm.
off of doing this.
All of them are.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of them.
Mm-hmm.
To get on talk shows,
Mm-hmm.
to sit here and be in the media,
Mm-hmm.
to also have their social media platforms. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're doing this all for the money.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah,
This is why the running joke somebody was saying with progressive media was if you're progressive you're broke. You get because you look
yeah,
around media, most progressives don't have money.
that's true, man.
Their constituents don't have money.
That's true. That's because I think that because the right side, those on the right, man, it's easy to make money off of grievances. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like owning the libs. You know what I'm saying? You just take all these yahoos that was don't want to wear a mask, or you know what I'm saying? They feel some type of oppression. They want to be oppressed so bad. You know what I mean? Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about the government making you wear a mask is like Nazis or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like come on,
the store
man.
owner,
The
I
store
forgot where the
owner,
store-
yeah, she made a little yellow
Using the
Star
Star
of
of
David
David.
for a mask, and you
For a
compare,
mask.
you are comparing the genocide of a people, man. And look, we've been to Dachau, man, and in Dachau, in Dachau, Germany, what the story that they don't tell people is not only was Hitler and his little SS army and everything was capturing Jews and putting Jews into concentration camps. They were capturing Germans and putting Germans in concentration camps. The Germans that were against Hitler, you know what I'm saying? They were putting them in concentration camps as well. You know what I'm saying? And man, and I'm telling you, when you go to Dachau, you can just feel it, man. Like it's this heavy, like man, it's a moment. I mean, I mean that feeling of like, man, something bad happened here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for somebody to make light of that, man, you know what I mean? For simply because, yeah, man, simply because you feel, and again, like if you don't want government to work, then why are you running for government?
Right.
You running to disrupt government?
Yeah. Well, that's the game plan. Honestly, that is the GOP's game plan. Because if you think about their argument, right? Their argument is they don't want big government, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you then tie that into what their constituents say, they end up saying, well, government is too big and it never functions very well. So when you tie that line, who's not making it function very well? It's actually the GOP that's literally going in trying to make it unfunctional. And then going out to their constituents say, see, it doesn't even work.
You should keep electing me because I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying, and government just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yes.
But keep electing me because I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to make it work, and it just doesn't work. And it's like, no, you're not trying to make government work, man. And whether you like it or not, the Constitution says we have to have a government, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to have a government of the people, for the people, by the people. You know what I'm saying? So you have an obligation when you get into these offices to make it work, man. But what they've done is on the GOP side, they just figure out how to make people wealthy. You know what I'm saying? And again, going to these black Republicans, they seen individuals like Candace Owens and the Minstrel Show, or Diamond and Silk, or Brandon Tatum and Larry Elder and all these individuals who've made money. You know what I'm saying? Made money being anti-black, number one. You know what I'm saying? There was somebody, the black Republicans going after other black Republicans who, they that are running for office. And then the first thing they're talking about is, they're demeaning black people. You know what I mean? That's the go-to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One dude was like, "You're not oppressed. You're lazy." You know what I mean? And he's black. You know what I mean? I'm black and I'm a Republican. And you're not oppressed. You're lazy. Like, who are you talking to? Like, because you're not talking to black people, man. You're not talking to black people.
So I can't remember this gentleman's name, but he's a black Republican, and he's running for, oh man, mm, I think he's running for a seat out in California, which is Maxine Waters.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Um,
know you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So, so if he's getting a crash course on what the Republican Party really is, because he's speaking out about some of the problems and how the dynamics of the Republican Party basically, if you're a black person, you don't have any leadership power. You are on any board or any seat for congressional hearings, or you're not even involved. And he's speaking out about it, but Republicans are outraged.
Oh my goodness. Of course. Of course.
And
And why are they upset? Why
he
you think
doesn't
they
get it.
upset? Yeah. Of course he's
He
not gonna
doesn't get it.
Yeah. You know, and because he is messing up, he don't want to mess up his money. You know, I'm pretty sure he gets
Yeah.
it. He just don't want to mess up his money. You know what I'm saying? And he know, the most of the people that's going to support him are going to be, white bigots, man, that like hearing, black
Yes.
people regurgitate what they think. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And that's what they're going to do, man. And
Don't.
and they don't understand. Like, look, we're not black people as a culture, right? Culture. So and in all of this, people not understanding that black people in America, and elsewhere, but I'll stay with America. In America, we are an ethnic group. We are an ethnic group. We are a culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people aren't just a race. We you know what I mean? Race is a social construct. Race is not real, right? But black people, we are an ethnic group. We have a culture. You know what I mean? Here in America, and people not understanding that. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you have to know how to speak to the culture. You know what I mean? You got to know how to speak to people. You know what I'm saying? And you can't think that putting blackface on somebody, you know what I mean, or putting a blackface in front of a camera, you know what I mean, that's going to be like, black on black crime and fatherless, homes and all this other stuff. And when the majority of us we're not in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that situation that you're talking about. Like, of course, there's a percentage of us who grew up in fatherless homes and things of that nature. But a lot of the things that that come out of their mouth, we're not in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about all the I have to find a percentage of black people who live in the middle class, but it's pretty high. Than higher than it used to be. So there's that other dynamic, you know what I'm saying, of people not understanding. Like, look, man, black people in America, we are an ethnic group first,
Right.
culture second, and then whatever racial category you want to put black people in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Texas GOP leader down there, we are watching the GOP use blackface live and direct. They are flat out using blackface live and direct. They're putting black faces in high positions in the head of the GOP sectors of party, but you will never see them in Mitch McConnell's seat like you still. You'll never black face because they want to split the vote. And I don't see how one as a ethnic group that people don't see that if it's not benefiting the group overall, why would you then narrow your vote or your perception
Mm-hmm.
in less for the group. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, because ultimately what's going to happen is you're just going to keep the white supremacy power structure in power. That's really what's going to happen, right? And to be naive to that, right? You know what I mean? Again, you can't be a black Republican and talking about white supremacy because you are part of the problem keeping these white supremacy structures, you know what I mean? Keeping this racial hierarchy, you know what I'm saying? Like you saying, you know what I mean? The GOP, of course, changing racism, right? Like Malcolm X said, racism is like a Cadillac. They come out with a new model every year. Where that model that came out during Trump's years is black. That's the model they come out with. You know what I'm saying? When Candace Owens came on the scene, a light bulb went off. It was like, oh, that's how we can, we can get, you know what I mean? And then you start seeing Fox News, like anytime they want to talk about black people, even though this was their model all the time, for 20 plus years, but specifically, yeah. After 2017, you just seen it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to talk about black people. We're going to bring, this black person on, and they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to elevate Candace now. You know what I'm saying? And have her talk about black people. We're gonna have Candace do Brexit and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And have her talk about Trump. Oh, Trump invited Kanye, and then Kanye say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, but again, it didn't turn out well for you because while you might have gotten a bigger percentage of black people, you didn't get a bigger chunk of number overall. You know what I mean? Because we see the game, man. We know what it is, right. And you can put, you could put blackface on a blackface, right? And we still, it's the message is what you say, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately the GOP and sometimes some of the Democrats have learned not to reduce black people to jail welfare, you know what I mean? And there's one more I'm thinking of. I can't think of it right now. But not to reduce black people. Talk about things that matter. Talk about minimum wage. Talk about healthcare. Talk about college. Talk about affordable housing. You know what I mean? Talk about the environment. These things black people care about. Yeah, man. Yeah.
One progressive groups in this country.
What's that?
One of the most progressive groups in this country.
Yeah, man.
When you think about why this country changed, why it is the country that it is today, it was simply because once black men, black women got a chance to vote, the country changed.
Right.
The policies opened the door for other people, other groups, of other, type beliefs. We opened a complete door for everybody because we have been the most progressive group.
Yeah. I try to tell black, like again these Twitter beefs, man, with black Republicans, and I try to say the same thing. Like, look, they'll be like, oh, well, black people were conservatives because they were Republican. Like, no, black people were progressive when the Republicans were liberal and progressive. Like they having an understanding of what progressivism is and conservatism is, right? Conservatism is literally trying to conserve the system as it is. You know what I mean? The structures, the racial hierarchy, same, as it is. And progressivism is changing. It's changing with the times, changing with, with the needs of the people, however that come about. You know what I'm saying? And, these black Republicans, they think that because black people were Republican and because they said that black people were conservative because they built families and they built businesses and all these other things. Like, no, they were trying to survive. Conservatism is not surviving. They were trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't say these black people were, black people that fled to the West and the Midwest. They were refugees. They weren't migrants. You know what I mean? They were refugees. They generally fled a very violent form of racism for another form of racism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, people don't research the Liberty Party progressive, which was Progressive Party. Black men who could vote were part of the Liberty Party. Of course, during they were Republicans when Republicans were progressive and liberal, you know what I'm saying? And then once the Republicans gave them black people the middle finger in 1877, because of the compromise of 1877, then black people started changing, going to the Democrats. Like, all right, man, we're gonna ally with the Democrats. Maybe primarily because W.B. Du Bois. Well, not primarily, but W.B. Du Bois and black men coming back from World War I. Like, hey, look, we ain't we ain't doing this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because at that point in time, we were, early on in the 1870s and 80s. Part of the what was it called? The Socialist Party. Then you had the Communist Party, which was another party that we kind of split votes with. And it was a high margin of African Americans that were in these parties.
Yeah.
But we started realizing the failures of those parties, and yet, we had to kind of move to another party. But again, the GOP itself has been multiple different parties, and throughout history, the oldest party we had is the Democratic Party. That party structure, the party itself has, as a name, never really went away. Did they drop some suffixes off and so forth? They did. But the Republican Party, they were the Whigs, and they were other kind of parties before they became the actual Republican Party.
My bad, man.
No.
Hold on here.
I know you're getting old, man. You gotta take your bathroom breaks, man.
Oh man, bro, man, I drank too much water today. Drank too much water. What's up, Brian?
What's up?
Hold on.
Oh man, look who it is.
What's up, Jay?
Man, I'm cooling. What are you doing?
I was just out there talking to these other people about some money.
Okay. Well, we live on YouTube.
Talking about some mathematics, huh?
Yeah, trying to get the light right.
Yeah, man.
Dark.
Nah, you good, man. You good. Long as we can hear your voice. Yeah,
What's up, y'all?
Nah, nothing much, man.
Good, man. Hey, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed. As they say, whatever. I'm good. How y'all doing, yo?
Bro,
good, man. Good, man.
What y'all talking about?
Man, just Democrat politics, man. Talking about black Republicans. I think we on the black Republicans. Yeah.
Good old conservatives.
Good old conservatives. Conservatism. You know what I mean?
You saw that crossover movement they having now? Like I crossed over or something like that. People or something like that. They said they switched over or something like that from black people going from Democrat to Republican. They making their little videos. I forget what it's called.
Jesus,
it's
man.
Weird. Like I think that's crazy. Like you just jump from one house to another house. That's to me. That sounds crazy.
But to me, I think it sounds crazy too. Like I was talking to another black Republican about 4 years ago. The plantation, but you don't even realize you're gonna leave one pen. He's just like, man, I don't want to hear none of that. I'm just trying to tell you.
That was it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it. I don't get it. Like people say, well, the Democrats been lying, so you just run to another. Like it would been smarter than me saying, man, I'm not nothing. I'm independent or something. Like that's smart. That's
Yes.
that like all right, I get it. You're in the middle
Yeah.
now. You just whoever not you feel not lying to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's what it is, man. It's just that yeah, man, it's strange to yeah, it's just strange when people try to use that plantation language, you know what I'm saying? Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, y'all on that Democratic plantation. Like,
Yeah, they
okay, you on a Republican plantation. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and I try to tell people all the time, man, I'm not a Democrat, man. I vote policies over party. If the Republican Party have policies that I like, then, then I'll vote for them. I'll support them.
Hey man. Hey man. When you run from a plantation down in South Carolina, Georgia, or somewhere like that, and then you run up north, and you start realizing that New York has some plantation.
Hey, just a different form of, hey, like I said, man, you
boy, boy,
you
boy.
run from a different form of racism, man. That's a
that was
different form of bigotry, man. Like it don't, because there's bigots on the left too, man. There's
yeah.
bigots on the left,
yeah.
man.
That's why I told people about like they when I first moved like down South Carolina, people was asking like they said, man, Brian, why you move down here? These racist people. I said, man, at least y'all know who y'all racists are. Up north is a person that like is a liberal that think they helping you, but like messing you over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you. Like, you ain't.
Like, nah, you ain't, man.
As a lawyer told me back in Delaware, he said, where you from? And I told him I was born in South Carolina, but I'm living in Delaware. So he said, oh, you in Delaware? He said, oh yeah, that's the good old boy state.
It was the last state to free slaves, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
last one, man. Last one, man. But it's still, when just talking to these, these black Republicans, or just watching them, reading them on Twitter, man, they all got the same objective, right? They all fighting for the same resources, which is all these white people, right? And then they're trying to pull these other black people in by, messaging, right? Saying, oh, businesses, support businesses, or Republicans support businesses, or father, community involvement and things of that nature. Like, okay, you trying to say Democrats don't do that? Like, and it makes no sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like in this whole CRT, they latched on to this CRT, critical race theory stuff, you know what I'm saying? And really, it's just being anti-black, man, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it started with Trump. Right? Trump talking about last year in September, I believe, when he was like, I'm banning critical race theory and diversity training or something federally or something. And so, they just held on to this, man. And they don't know what
want to hear
about.
from you. We don't want to hear you nigga story.
I think that
Crazy.
I think black people was targeted ever since Obama won. When they try to give you Mike Steele, they try to give us a bunch of
Michael
black
Steele.
people. Yeah, they try
But
to
you
give
see,
us
Michael
a bunch.
Steele changed though. Michael
Yeah,
Steele
yeah,
left.
you know what I'm saying? They
When
try to
Michael
give us a bunch.
Steele,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brian.
Like,
I'm sorry.
They try to give us a bunch of black people after that. Like, all right, we lost badly because black people came out and voted. So we got to steal some of their black people. And I think that was the agenda ever since then. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now you see more and more black people standing up. Like what's that girl that we don't really like too much? Candace Owens.
Oh, Candace Owens. Yeah.
Like she always say
Candace
stuff. Yeah, she always say stuff about like she always say like she sound bites about black fathers and all that, and they got taken out of the home to welfare, but they never come up with no plan. Like, what's your plan? Like, all
Exactly.
right, how your plan,
Exactly.
How your
What's
plan,
the policy?
What's your plan? What's your plan different than what the Democrats did? Like, what you like? Stop just telling us what happened.
You know why they don't have a plan?
Well,
Because their plan would have to be left to the Democrats. Right.
Yeah.
I always keep saying that the Republican Party is going to move left. Right. because they kind of have to, because the country's moving left, you know what I'm saying? Whether they like it or not, you know what I mean? So they can't come up with a policy because their policies are generally going to be anti-government. And if it's anti-government, then it's anti their people, right? You don't hear them coming out, you know, talking against the popular policies like raising the minimum wage, healthcare. You know what I mean? They always frame it into, you know, oh, you know, we don't like Obamacare. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And as long as they frame it and we don't like Obamacare and not, we don't want you to have healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then they can or $15 minimum wage. You know what I mean? Oh man, you know, eggs are gonna go from $3 to $18. Oh man, you know, that's how they frame it. You know, mm-hmm. But they know that they have to move left.
I got one better for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys was hitting it on the nail, but my point is, I think they know. What they're going to do is allow when the Democrats are in power, we already seen this on display. Allow them to pass policies. When they lose power through people, because of people like Manchin
and Sinema
and Seneca, Sinema, mm-hmm. and I don't want to really say Joe Biden, but he plays a part. Mm-hmm. Those kind of politics where he's trying not to be progressive.
Mm-hmm. He's trying not to intervene in the Congress.
Well, but he's also trying to snub progressives in the same token. So when this dynamic is happening, people got to realize that that's very dangerous. So it's dangerous because it allows Republicans to seize that power, as we've seen in Donald Trump, which then when Republicans get the power, they take credit. We've seen Trump do that. Mm-hmm. Take responsibility of things they didn't even have
do.
Nothing to do with.
He had nothing to do with the economy. Like, he had nothing
Bills
to do
that
with
they voted down.
Black unemployment rate. He had nothing to do with it. Yeah, he had nothing to do with it. Yeah, nothing to do with it.
The college bill for HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, it was a black lady Congress member that wrote that up.
Bass, I believe. I think it was Congress. Yeah. I think it was Congresswoman Bass, I believe.
Yes, correct.
It was her bill. It was her bill.
It was her bill.
it was her bill.
You've seen the Republicans take responsibility for it.
Man, yeah, and the Democrats didn't come out and say,
but that's what go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
Oh, but that's what America been built on, red herrings, man, like lies and mm-hmm. who can persuade the truth with a lie faster. And I was telling people about that the other day. I was talking to somebody and they was talking about like, well, Trump is the worst president we ever had. I said, no. Y'all forgetting a couple of 40 something other people that was worse. Mm-hmm. But Trump is now, he's in we're in the social media age where you can see him and you can tell like you can see his moves every day. But like them people that like with Lincoln, the Vice President to Lincoln, that they think that set Lincoln up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then he reversed everything Lincoln did.
He set black people up.
Yeah. That was say what people think like them white people. It's a lot of white people that's why I say we keep like thinking about our own time instead of saying, hey man, this is what this thing is built off. Like
right, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. You know, when all these states want to ban critical race theory, right? And that's what critical race theory says, right? Critical race theory examines laws and societal issues through the lens of race. You know, it says that hey, race is a social construct. It's not natural, right? It's not natural for survival to create a race, and then you make laws to then oppress a certain group intentionally or unintentionally, right? That is what critical race theory is. And so all these states want to ban it because they don't want to be honest about America. Like, America is built on a racial hierarchy and is built on white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? It's built on that idea. And of course, people just go research Bacon's Rebellion, and you'll see the creation of whiteness, and you see after Bacon's Rebellion, the creation of slavery for African peoples in this country. And it goes on and on, miscegenation laws and on and on and on, you know what I'm saying? But more importantly, it's after 1877, when Jim Crow happens. That's when, this, white supremacy really, started to dig its nails in, you know what I'm saying? And create this society that we have now, you know what I'm saying? To where you had LBJ. He passes the new society, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking of FDR. Sorry, FDR with the New Deal, and then the New Deal. Americans were supposed to get housing. Well, guess who got left out of that? Black people did. African Americans, Social Security. Well, he created Social Security, right? Well, black people got left out of Social Security. Why? Because the bigots that was like, they were like, hold on. We don't want black people to get Social Security. So what we're going to do is we're going to not allow people who work service jobs to get Social Security. So that's why a lot of people in the 70s and the 80s had to take care of Big Mama and Grandpa because they didn't have Social Security. You know what I'm saying? And on and on and on. So CRT examines all these things that and looks at it through this lens of race being a social construct. And all people want to do is, and I keep saying it, anybody who's against it, they're anti-black. Anybody who's against CRT. Go ahead,
John. You can go talk, but Shantae, remember that 18 whatever that you just said.
1877.
I was gonna come back to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just talking. Oh, not to cut you off, John, but I want to say this real fast because I was just talking about this to somebody else. I was talking this to Kim the other day about. I said, man, in 18 something, this one or 1800s, this one white people really took over because they invented the machine gun. Like they couldn't, like, this when you had Shaka Zulu and all them, they couldn't really defeat them really. But at that time, that's when they brought the machine gun out, and they got rid of a lot of the Indians. You remember the Indians here in America? They got rid of them with the machine gun when and they got rid of over in Africa with the machine gun in the 18. So I think you was right what you said. 1800s. That's when they really took off because they added the war part to it too to really emphasize their agenda, because they had to get rid of things too. Like they had to get rid of the Indians so they can really push their white agenda, because you can't have these people that say they was here first.
Well, and to add to that, Brian, I'm sorry, but to add to that, you know what they did to a lot of the indigenous tribes, indigenous peoples, they put them in these schools to take away their language, take away their religion. They put them in these schools to make them white. You know what I'm saying? And guess who else they did that to? They did that to the Hawaiians when they went and took Hawaii. People need to research Hawaii and understand. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the king of Hawaii, the king, right?
Yeah, they need to understand, man.
It was a food company, a banana company, right? Yeah, Dole that set them up. Yeah.
So
See, but, go ahead, John.
So the queen of Africa, of Hawaii at that point of time, she had to flee Hawaii. Because of white supremacy.
Because of white supremacy, man. Yeah, because of white supremacy.
And we gotta say it correctly. They had an agreement. They broke the agreement.
Well,
because they didn't want to do the
white supremacy.
Yeah, they didn't want to do the agreement no more because they was doing something. They was doing, I forget what the people Dole was doing, but they broke. The people say, hey, we can't have this over here. So Dole went to war with them, like
Yeah,
Like,
he convinced America. He said, hey man, okay, these people don't want me to be ambassador anymore. So, they want to be a kingdom again. We don't want that because I got to make money. And so America brought ships over. It was like, yeah, y'all it brought a whole military unit over, man. But
but don't it sound familiar to Haiti and all these other things?
No, it does.
That's
I mean, it does.
It's familiar.
Yeah,
it's very familiar.
Yeah, when we're talking about colonization, man. But right now, what a lot of these Americans are doing, is particularly those on the right, what they want to do is colonize education. They want to colonize thought. You know what I mean? And that's why I was saying, with CRT, man, when we start seeing these things like, they want to ban CRT or, anything else that's connected to being black or whatever, you know what I mean? Like these same people would have whipped our ancestors because they wanted to learn how to read and write.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You educated?
Exactly.
You are educated, Negro.
Oh, you educated, huh? You want to educate yourself? Okay. Mm-hmm. You take these 18 lashes.
Yeah.
What's that show that's out right now?
Mm-hmm.
The Handmaid or Handmaid? You watch that?
Handmaid's Tale. I think that's what it is. I haven't watched it. Mm-mm.
And you saw how the white men took over America. It's just like how, like, would you think they seceded from America and brought back old laws, like, you know what I'm saying, that women supposed to whatever, and it kind of like what these people doing now kind of reminds me of that, like how they're trying to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what me and John was talking about earlier, man. How with conservatism, man, like it baffles our mind how there are black people trying to funnel other black people or people in a certain status to a party or ideology that is hostile. There's no other way to put it. It is hostile. It's hostile to well-being, man. It's hostile to democracy. It's crazy.
They got an identity crisis, man.
They do. But it's easy because when you speak to them, they generalize everything, right? So it's, oh well, what about the Democratic Party? And I'm like, well, time out. Well, let's separate certain people in the Democratic Party, because is it some people in the Democratic Party that do belong in the party? It is. But you cannot sit back and say the party as a whole, as you can say as the Republican, because the Republican function as a whole body.
Because they're a cult.
Because they're a cult. They function as a cult.
They're a cult,
and they look for their next leader, so on and so on, and so forth. But the Democrat Party gotten away from that. And actually, that was the big fight between Hillary and Obama. Because it was heading in a way where
a racial way.
One person wanted control over the party. That's what the big fight in the Democrat, and Obama won, which, yes, he doesn't side with leftists as much as people want him to, but at the end of the day, he still let democracy be what democracy should be.
Right. One like
and people have to understand that it's places that you can attack Obama. Yes, it is. At the end of the day, if you want democracy, you have to have conversations. You have to have and let the people think about these conversations.
Right. Have healthy disagreements.
Yeah, have healthy disagreements and not try to use that power to squash those agreements, which that's what Hillary wanted to do.
But that's what the current GOP is doing with all these voter suppression laws, man. That's what they're doing. Currently the GOP is trying to squash the conversation, you know what I mean, and say that, well, we're not going to let the people choose who win. We're going to let, our the mechanism, the system choose who win. And it's the same thing like with people
Hunger
that want to get
Games,
rid of the
You saw Hunger Games?
yeah,
You saw Hunger Games?
No, I didn't see it.
Hunger
I didn't see
Games.
it. Nah.
I was talking about that. Not to cut you off, to tell you, but what's now remind me of Hunger Games. In Hunger Games, it was this old government. It was running things like like how Hunger Games supposed to be, like setting up fights against the poor, and then it was another fraction trying to get rid of that government because they wanted to get rid of the fighting amongst the poor. But the person that's in head of that fraction that was trying to get rid of them, soon they killed off the other government. She got in power, and she kept the Hunger Games going. All she did was she wanted the power.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't want to change nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She kept things the way it was.
Just kept it the way it was, yeah.
And made it worse. And she just wanted the power. And I think that's everybody's. It's so much reaching for power right now. Like people,
but I think that there's a distinction, though. I think that there's a distinction in who is trying to make government work. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the Democrats have enough of a left coalition to people. You know what I'm saying? When you have people like Cori Bush or Jamal Bowman, or you know what I mean. But however, we're always talking on federal level. We're not talking the state and local level, man. And this is where a lot of these issues are happening because black people, we only show up for the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't show right. We got to show up for 2022 in order to change and make these things happen.
To bring that back to the wing, I think that's why people are jumping. I mean, they're not informed like a lot, but they feel that the people the people that want change don't outweigh the people that want that got the power in the Democratic Party. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Nancy Pelosi's and stuff. Like I don't think people, especially the black people, really like the Nancy Pelosi's. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think she been there for a long time.
Yeah, but people
they like the new girl. They like the new people because they see them out there in the streets. They see them doing things. They see them really. They don't see Nancy Pelosi. Sees like, you know what I'm saying? They don't.
Yeah, but I don't think that to expect that out of Nancy Pelosi. You know what I'm saying? I think she's from a certain age. She's a certain age. She's a certain age range. There's just things that she just ain't gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the problem. And that's what we thinking. Like, get rid of the old. That's what we at.
Well,
like,
that's
what. That's the problem.
But that's for the people of California to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, like as much as I hate Joe Manchin right now, there's nothing I can do. Right? There's nothing I can do. We can sit here.
But we can sit here and talk over. Party, though.
Yeah, but my point is that she won't change unless the people in California vote her out. It's the same thing with Joe Manchin. So a lot of times I think we spin our wheels talking about these people that we don't have an effect over. We just don't. We don't have any effect over Joe Manchin. We don't have any effect over Christian Sinema. We don't have any effect over Pelosi.
We kind of do with social media, though.
No, we don't. We don't.
You know what I'm saying? We won't. With social media, we can make a change in another state. If we see something like, and if you blow it up to a certain, I think if you got the power,
but I agree. I agree partially.
If you got the influence on social media, you can start something by saying something, and then you know what, she ain't doing it, or whatever. But she got a lot of. Only why I say her, because she got a lot of pull over the Democratic Party, and I think a lot of things. I think we need somebody. We need somebody.
We most definitely need to change the leadership in that federal in that role there. And that, again, that's up for the Democrats to do. You know, they got to make bold change at that level. But at the same time, really the change is local, man. As local, these local people on the local level need to be engaged, man. If you're not engaged and you're not voting, then yeah, talking about these individuals, we're just like I'm so tired. Like I don't want to hear anything about Joe Manchin. I don't want to hear about anything about the Democrats passing a bill, because we know what it is, right? We know nothing's going to get done. There's not 10 Republicans that's going to pass a bill. There's nothing going to get done without the filibuster. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, stop gaslighting me, man. I look, let's focus our energy somewhere until the Democrats, until there's enough pressure, being built, you know what I'm saying, for the Democrats to make change. And I don't know if that, we're 6 months in, into, or going on 6 months into Joe Biden's administration, and they should have ended the filibuster by now. I don't know what they're waiting for. So,
this conversation go back to our other conversation. People need to be led, though. They don't. They do. We do. I don't know what it is about us. We need to be led and told. Like, somebody got to, from Martin Luther King, from the Black Panthers, somebody got to lead. Like, we just need somebody to lead us. I don't know why, but it's that thing. We need somebody that got the plan. Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody had a plan, oh, he got the plan. Like, and we go with it. I just don't know why we do that. We are that people, but we that people.
Yeah. Oh, John, are you frozen?
Yeah.
John, did we lose you?
Oh, he probably went off. He probably went and did something.
Oh man, he might have. Yeah, might have. Okay. Oh yeah, he probably went off on the screen there. All right, hold on. Let me see. Make sure John can. Yeah, because he's like frozen. All right, but yeah, man, I think that I think I agree with you in that a little bit, that there needs to be a message, like a concerted message for what it is that we want to get done. You know what I'm saying? And I think the message is getting done. What's the economic message? You know what I'm saying? It has to be about economics, and it has to be about politics on the local level. You know what I mean?
But that's what I think with the Republican, I think the Republican Party send out these black people to start the confusion. It ain't about solving nothing. It's about, that's why I say she never say a plan. They never have a plan. So to me, that tell me you ain't really trying to solve it. You just trying to make more confusion and try to, in the confusion, take people away from or make people like frustrated, don't want to vote or whatever in that confusion. Because I think that's what their plan is. They either say, "Oh, we can take people away," and if not, we can make them don't want to vote. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think of Candace Owens and all these people are. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not really like, they don't got no game plan to me. I never heard a game plan. I never heard like.
No, because the game plan and the strategy is to have black people not vote, or black people vote for Republicans. You know what I'm saying? That's the game plan. That's the strategy. But meanwhile, there are Democrats or black black people on the left. You know what I'm saying? I hate saying Democrats because I don't consider myself a Democrat, but I just consider myself on the left. And that that there are economic policies that are being passed for African Americans. So they just gave $5 billion to black farmers, because they didn't get money. Those black farmers didn't get money in the Trump administration, right? And then there's other executive orders that were passed. I was reading all the executive orders to try to go through and see what exactly, again, when I say affecting black people, obviously the orders aren't specifically to black people, but they do involve black people.
I was saying but that stuff need to be told why that's important. Because if people think, well, what farmers got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? And that's the way they're thinking of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it don't got nothing to do with them, if it ain't a stimulus check coming to them, Like they don't see the power. Like, all right, you growing a community that ain't growing its own food or don't have the power to grow its own food cannot come up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important that yeah, and I get it. You know, people are busy. You know, people are busy, and it's hard to keep up with in a political sphere what's going on and everything that's going on. But we have to you know we have to learn to filter out the noise, man. And again, man, it's like when we were talking about in the media, when me and John was talking about the media, if all you're clicking on is people who are just gaslighting you, right, who's just telling you, oh, government sucks, this person sucks, that person sucks, well, you aren't going to learn anything. You know what I'm saying? You aren't going to know about the issues. You aren't going to know what's going on. You aren't going to know these things, because there are plenty of people out there who are out there on the that's trying to tell people what to do, you know what I'm saying, and to let people know what's going on and things of that nature.
all I say, you got is sometimes it gotta be on a person's frequency though. Like it ain't like what we catch, what we would understand, everybody else won't. Like you can hear something like, "Yo, you heard that? That's important." They might have heard it, not like the farmer thing. They might have heard it, but they don't know to what importance that is. You know what I'm saying? Like they like, all right, that ain't a stimulus coming to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know why that's important to them.
Yeah, man, but that's why I say, man, people have to find out why it's important. Why, like, I get it, you know, that individualism, you know what I mean, that people have, you know what I'm saying, and people have to find out why that's important to them. Like, it's it is hey, what's up, John? Get you back?
Hey, I'm back. I'm back.
All right, man.
I had to refresh.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. All right. I thought, like I thought we lost you, man. I'm like, hold on, man.
You was frozen so good that we thought you were still there for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. You
just John, you
John
ain't moving in a minute.
I'm like, wait, John ain't moving. It's like, hold on, John like to smile, but he's smiling a long time.
Yeah. So, I was sitting here looking at Brian's smile, and I'm sitting here looking at your eyes closed. And I'm like, yeah, I know Tay ain't sleep. And Brian, he holding that smile.
Man. I guess that's one trait our parents gave us, man. We like to smile all the time, man.
Yeah, nice smile.
But yeah, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, you got any thoughts or anything, man?
Where did you guys left off, man?
We were just back to talking about like. Yeah, we were just back talking about, you know, when we were talking about the media, man, how there are people out here who there's information out there, and there are people who, you know, want to be told, you know, what the information is and how it affects them. You know what I mean? And that's what Brian was saying, and, you know, and I was saying
misleading information coming from, like I said, misleading information coming from like the Republican Party. I think that's their whole agenda, because we never hear a plan or course of action from them.
It's never a plan, man.
Tim Scott had something, but he I thought he was somewhat alright before he said what he like went off in it. Like he got that Muppet baby. Somebody put that thing up his back and made him get on that.
and say America's not racist.
I thought he was cool because he was doing little things. He do little things in South Carolina. He do a little thing that ain't bad. So I thought like maybe all right. He just whatever. But yeah, after he put that, somebody convinced him to get up and say that.
Yeah.
Hey man,
go ahead, John.
They're trying to make sure if Trump don't run, that Tim Scott can run.
Right.
That's their big plan, because the same thing that they did with Clarence Thomas, right? This is the GOP plan. What they did with Clarence Thomas was, we're gonna put Clarence Thomas out there, and we're whatever you guys criticize our party on, Clarence Thomas has the same views, and he's a black
He's
guy.
a black man.
You can't now call him racist.
Him racist, which is why Tim Scott said what he said.
Bingo. This is the GOP's game.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that, shit, I'm Gary said. They know that people are dumb.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I was going to say that, they think that people are dumb. No, they know.
They know.
They
That's the
know
whole point,
that
man.
Americans are dumb. And when I say Americans, it is a portion of America that is about 27-30% that is just flat out dumb.
They don't want
and they
no
literally
knowledge, nothing.
no knowledge. And they're also people that hold degrees that are as stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And they know this.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at what's going on in Texas right now, and you can see it play out on how they're trying to affect the education in Texas. So kids don't understand when these politicians get up, where they're coming from when they say what they say and what they're doing. That is miseducating people to do that.
Yeah, man. It's keeping them. They're doing it on purpose, man. I say it all the time, man. They're doing it on purpose, man. Because the majority. It's like when Trump got up, right? When Trump won, right? What was two of the things Trump said, man? Two of these things that just made me mad, man. He got up there. Oh, I want to thank the African Americans for not voting, or not showing up. Not showing up is like voting for me. You know what I'm saying? That made me mad. And then he said, I love the uneducated. I love the uneducated. I love the. He said this. He said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's been the whole ploy, been the whole play. You know what I'm saying? Again, when we go talking about critical race theory and stuff like that, they're attacking these institutions to where, they don't want people educated. You know what I'm saying? They don't want people knowing, you know what I mean? And it's the whole reason, why they bring up all these culture war BS crap. You know what I mean? Mr. Potato Head and whatever else. They want to talk about Dr. Seuss, you know what I'm saying? Because they want you to focus on that than what the other party is doing, right? Especially when Joe Biden's talking about, his infrastructure plan and how, that's going to create jobs and how all these things are going to happen, for people, you know what I'm saying? Marsha Fudge, the black, black woman in charge of HUD, you know what I mean? Housing development, talking about, the government building houses, you know what I mean? Affordable housing, you know what I'm saying? That affects black people, you know what I'm saying? And of course you got the Bernie Sanders and the AOC still pushing the $15 minimum wage raise, you know what I mean? And paid family leave and all these things that affect people's lives, man, that are very popular. But they don't. But again, Republican parties can easily come up with a separate policy or something proposal, but they're not. I mean, they're not. And if it do, it's like weak. You know what I mean? It's like weak. It's like Tim Scott's, police reform bill. You know what I mean? It was just
a policy with no teeth.
No teeth. They had no teeth.
They don't want. They never want. Giving us power is like taking power away from them.
Yes, that's how they actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Facebook fan, I like to call him, that feel like he always has to comment on everything, single post.
Feeling like there's a grievance. There's
but he always get to a right.
Yeah.
He always get to a point where he's telling me without saying it directly is, I don't like your viewpoint because it's not my viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead.
No, and I was just going to say, this right here, people don't realize in America that like I told him on a post before. Oh, you don't like a black man voicing his opinion and his views on how he gets to see the United States or how he gets to see the world. And because you have to hear my point, now that makes you angry.
Yeah.
But then I'm asking you flat out, well, where am I wrong?
Fear of a Black Planet.
Show me information. And he has none. He's just angry because I get to voice my opinion.
Yeah. You know the crazy thing? White people hate the government the same way black people do. If you listen to them, like they think the government got too much power. We kind of think that, like, man, we think the government don't do nothing for us that much.
We think the government doesn't function. A lot of people on the right, they don't want government to function because they feel they have this thing. They think that there's a pie, right? They think that there's a pie, and that if African Americans or any group of people stand up and say, "Hey, we want a slice of the pie too," and these are the slices that we want, they think that the pie shrinks.
Yes.
And if it shrinks, then obviously, and to your point, John, he's thinking his pie is shrinking, and you're taking a piece of his pie, when actually the pie is not shrinking. you're just getting a slice of the pie. The pie still stayed the same size. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I had to tell him on the post that if we was in the yard, his pie would be mine. That's what I had to tell him.
Yeah.
We was in the yard, it'd be mine.
Yeah, but they have this mentality that, you know what I mean, the whole mentality after 1877, one thing you see is that there's this grievance of the government giving, African Americans, public school, giving them, trying to help them build businesses and doing all these things for African Americans, because they view African Americans as not as immigrants, you know what I mean, as illegals, taken from the government. You know what I mean? It's a common theme in conservatism, man. Yeah, you just want the government so you could take stuff.
It's that same fear from after slavery that, like, when we African Americans and blacks were the most trained skills out there. So that's why they made they made what's that thing they use today?
What are you talking
about? They stopped hiring black workers.
Oh, you're talking about
unions. It was like a union. Yeah, after slavery, white people during their started a union that you couldn't hire non-white.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, because the fear of African Americans
taking a job. Because they had all the skilled workers.
Skilled work. So, and that's like I would say that's around the same time. I would say,
a lot of
things at the same time. I know
you're talking about.
Yeah, like the fear of and it's that same fear they push. They'll take it.
But
like, you ain't even, go ahead.
But the fear that they're pushing is the fear of 2024. So what's going to happen in 2024 is that the millennials, Gen Z, they're going to be the biggest voting bloc. And guess what? They're blacker and they're browner. You know what I'm saying? And guess who's going to be the smallest voting bloc by that time? You know what I mean? The baby boomers. Guess what? They're going to be dying off. You know what I mean? So you have a majority of white people who are going to be dying off. And by 2040, guess what? We're going to be a majority minority country. That doesn't mean, white people are still going to be a majority, but it's going to be like this. You know what I mean? There's going to be, white folk going to be up here, and black folk going to be right here, and everybody else, going to be about the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's their fear. Their fear is that, that the country's going to look like Joe Biden's administration. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want it to look like that.
But I think that, go ahead.
Hold on, Brian. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, so their greatest fear is their mediocrity won't be okay anymore.
Exactly. Mediocrity. It's like what we were talking about with Tim Tebow, man. Like, mediocre, you know what I mean? This mediocre athlete that's just going to get,
came out. Yeah, they're talking about how mediocre he was as a player, but yet he gets another opportunity.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like
He's a
I
good old boy. He's a key part of the good old boy
Yep.
staff.
Yep.
But
Yes,
that,
he is.
like I said, but that was always white people fear. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it changed. I don't think. I think ever since
some white people.
we
We gotta make sure
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
qualify
no.
that.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
to
yeah.
qualify with some white folks. Some
White
white,
people.
Yeah.
yeah.
People.
We be talking about white
But
folk. Not all of
no,
y'all, okay?
I'm not talking
We
about.
saying some of y'all, okay?
I'm talking about
Some
that.
people, the ones that
I'm not
has
talking about.
a
So
superiority
Yeah,
complex.
that
I'm not
that
talking about
20 that
the
20 something percent.
I'm
Hmm.
not talking about the white people that the cool ones that ain't pushing their superiority. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
the like the heads up that push the systemic racism on people.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think that that's that goes far back from when the first time they had a meeting of taking over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like we used to roam the world, and there they was the they went, many of them. So I think that it's that internal fear of going back to that. Like, oh no, we can never let them have power like that again.
Now, I think that the there, of course, there is a fear, and the fear that drives them is that if black people or peoples, of any particular group get some sort of power, then they're gonna treat people like,
Hmm.
it's like the Planet of the Apes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, the apes get power. They're gonna treat us, a certain way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what this fear is. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them are a certain age. They're a certain age, and a lot of these people who are making these changes and these laws and everything, they were the little kids in the background watching, their parents and their grandparents yell at the little black kid trying to go to school. You know what I mean? During the civil rights era. You know what I mean? They were the kid that heard, their parents and their grandparents talk bad about black people, you know what I'm saying, during the civil rights era. So they feel that they need to avenge, right some sort of wrong in the government, you know what I'm saying, when they come up with these policies, you know what I mean, when they're like, oh, well, we CRT and diversity train. Before CRT, it was multiculturalism. They didn't want that, you know what I'm saying. And in a country that is getting more blacker and is getting more brown, you know what I mean, and it is about maintaining this racial hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
and wherever they see themselves at in that racial hierarchy, you know what
Hey
I'm
man,
saying.
whenever you know, watching Black Panther, whenever I'm in line or I'm shopping and I see someone that act like they want to display their superiority, man, I get the
Like Umbaka, what's his name?
yeah.
Umbaka, yeah, Umbaka up
Boy,
in there.
they look
Like,
at me.
hey man, that's what
I did
that's what it's about, man. You
Yeah, I
know,
did that with the wife one day, and she was like, "Boy, you crazy." Now I'm letting them know.
yeah, man. I mean, that's what you have to do, man. We live in an era where look, and I keep saying it, man. We are living in history, man. This is where we're going through another reconstruction. You have people who are moving
Mhm.
from the north back to the south and things of that
Mhm.
nature, and you have these positions of power that used to be held by white males, and they're being held by
Mhm.
other people.
But that's why they,
They're being held by black people and women and all these other a diverse coalition of people,
Mhm.
and there are people who don't like that because, like you're saying, John, they grew up in a time where they could be mediocre. They saw their dad and their grandpa be mediocre and still got good
Mhm.
jobs and good houses
Mhm.
and things of that nature. So they're like, oh well, why can't I be mediocre too? Well, because
Yeah.
the people, the other group of people were not being mediocre. Then they were getting, good paying jobs and going to college and
Yeah.
things of that, getting, learning trades and building businesses and things of that nature. Yeah.
Because in our culture, literally, I'm pretty sure any black person can remember their parents telling them something like this: "You have to be 10 times better."
Mm-hmm.
That was a real thing in our culture.
Yeah, man.
Or play the game, like mom used to say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that
He's
too.
like, all right, when do you stop playing the game? When you switch the game over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
They
it's
never tell you that part. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
so
yeah.
I'm supposed to play the game to win, and what I'm supposed to do after?
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. I think it's all part of it. I think it's all the same message, man.
But I
You
think
know,
they were saying that to keep us survival.
Mhm.
We can't be mad because they was telling us how to survive, and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
the way. No, I'm just saying. I was saying that for the people that's listening. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
like that was survival.
Mhm.
That because what they had to grow in, that's the way they had to survive. So we can't really like, oh, I want to put up with that. They were surviving. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
like some things ain't meant for people in that generation. It was
Yeah.
what's meant for us now in our generation wasn't meant for them back then. It's meant for us, and
Mhm.
that's why we gotta stand up for it because it's that time is that we got all the things in line to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
And to put that in perspective is, you are right, because they watch political leaders in their communities get assassinated,
Yeah,
jail.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Jail.
saying?
They're
So
thrown
so
in.
when you think about it, the fear amongst just the culture, be, just on speaking up, it is at an extreme cost. And I think the levels now today, we got a different energy. We A lot of us want the smoke.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
all,
We.
like Shantae, like we was talking about, this go all hand in hand. They just need to tunnel it right. Like right now, we killing each other like crazy. We show you how ruthless we can be to each other. Like we'll show you how ruthless we can be to another black person. Like this how ruthless I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if we can tunnel that energy and use it for the right reasons, that's when fear comes. When organization
Yeah,
comes.
man. And I agree, man. It's like and that's why I'm like yeah, man. I think that we spend too much time in that negative part of coming up in America. You know what I mean? We spend too much time talking about. It's like with rap music, man. With hip hop music, man. We spent too much time talking about the streets. You know what I mean? And we muffled the noise of, you know what I mean, what quote unquote conscious rap, you know what I mean, where it didn't have, it didn't sell, you know what I mean, people wouldn't consume it, you know what I'm saying. Even now, you know what I mean, I remember, in the early 2000s when everybody was passing around those fight videos of black people fighting and stuff. Like we got to get beyond that, man. We got to start lifting up people who are selling, who are creating businesses, lifting up, people who are out here grinding, you know what I'm saying, getting raises, right, John? You know what I'm saying, at work, you know what I'm saying, becoming black middle class families. We got to start talking about, our people who are graduating colleges, who are being CEOs, who are out here, who are leading, you know what I'm saying? We have to stop promoting that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I most definitely, try to not to. I don't even. I try not to consume it. I try not to put it out there in the atmosphere on social media and none of that stuff, man. I try to promote positivity, man, and promote the message.
Yeah, look,
Go ahead, John.
I try not to even watch women twerking anymore.
Oh, but you know what?
Sometimes I may save like 15 seconds of my life of watching.
Hey. Not to cut you off, John. Twerking is not a bad thing, because when you look at Africa, that's the way that's who we are. like we put it in the content. So now, oh, look at them twerking. But if you go to Africa and watch them dancing, they twerking.
Yeah, no, that's really actually that's a real good point.
And gold, gold, we always wore gold. They don't like us being ourselves.
That is true. But when I say it, is we have to be careful on how we bastardize things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's what's happening.
That's like we're bastardize.
Yeah, it just.
I like that.
That's what's happening to the whole twerking thing. It is becoming over sexualized rather than culturalized.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and it's the same way with man, with gangs.
Yeah. People overhyping the gangs. Hold on, we got a comment here. Great Zeus says white girls stole the twerk and ruined it. Just like whites ruin hip hop. I don't know if whites ruin hip hop, but I will say that I don't know if they ruined it. They most definitely made it pop made more acceptable, because you got to go back to a lot of people in the 80s who what you call it, a lot of white people in the 80s made they listen to gangster rap.
You better be thankful for hip hop, because hip hop, you know what hip hop doing now? It is bridging a gap. A lot of white people into that trap, Gucci Man and all that stuff, and we are more into J. Cole's and different stuff. It's really messing up white America.
It's working against them.
Yeah, it really rap is really what rap did to us a couple years ago. It is fucking up white America now.
We watch them become ratchet.
Like you watching white people like just be ratchet. Like God damn. like listen to talking Ebonic like real fucked up. Like God damn.
Yeah. Hey man, look, we push the culture, man. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, but
black people push the culture, man, and that's why like people gotta be very, very careful with their language when they talk about black people, and understand that we are an ethnicity and we are a culture, man, and those two are separate and sometimes equal things. You know what I'm saying? Before you talk about black people as a race,
because we are American culture.
We are American culture.
We push
the culture.
But our culture and our things been hijacked though. It like
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think you think we wanted you think we wanted ratchet shit. Like you think that's what we want? No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
We didn't want it. No. We wanted. We was cool with Public Enemy. We was cool with KRS Ones. We was cool with that.
Nah. You can go back to what KRS-One and that generation have said, that they were pushed out the door by Leor and other people. So, not just
Leor, but people consuming, because again, that music don't get played.
White people was consuming.
Hold on for a second. Hold on, let me say. But that music do not get played if people do not consume it. White people weren't the only one consuming a lot of the ratchet music. Black people consumed it too. So we hold some responsibility for pushing out Public Enemy, pushing out all the conscious rap. We have some responsibility for that.
Tay, I want to say this one thing, John. You stayed up watching Real Sex at Night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wasn't that intriguing to you? Wasn't it intriguing? Was it not intriguing to you?
Right.
But aren't you conscious though? But wasn't Real Sex intriguing? If somebody put it there for you and keep putting it there, you're gonna watch. It's just like free porn now. That's why free porn is. I think
that's apples and oranges, man. But go ahead, John. Go ahead, John. Let John go ahead.
Because I'm gonna put it together. So me trying to be a manager in the rap game, right? And one thing I found out very quick is money rules the industry. That's one. So if money rules the industry, what you hear isn't what people want to hear.
Right.
It's what is being. So this is the difference that people don't understand about the music industry, where what you saying, B, yes, it is right. What you saying, Tay, it is right. So this is one of the things that people have to understand, that both things are right at once. That they knew that they can create a customer. Not it already was a customer. They can create a customer by removing content. And that's what
playing
they
certain content. Yeah.
And playing certain content.
Right.
And you know, I started realizing, man, I haven't listened to any hip hop radio station in probably 15 years. Like literally. Like once I was like trying to do that as a manager, and I started realizing like how the industry really is, man, I stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
I completely stopped listening to it, and I started realizing the songs that I used to like, I only like because they played it for me.
Right. And I agree with Brian, what Brian is saying, right? What Brian is saying is like, look, man, if it's put in front of you, you're going to consume it, right? I totally agree with that, right? And what you're saying, John, is that like, look, man, the entertainment industry is made to feed you, you know, something, you know, and then it's like Pavlov's dog, you know what I'm saying? But you hear it enough, you're gonna be like, oh, you know what, this new song is kind of hot, you know what I mean? And if you don't, that's why you have to disconnect from it, you know what I'm saying? You know, if that's all you're doing is consuming, you know what I mean? And when I'm talking about consuming, I'm talking about, you know, you are constantly going after these things, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the things that are pushed to you. I'm talking about the consumers that constantly go after these things, you know what I'm saying? And people just stop consuming, you know, PE. They stop consuming, you know, quote unquote conscious artists. But consciousness, it didn't go away. You know what I'm saying? It just transformed.
I
But
think
yeah,
people want it, because look at the top tier rappers now: J. Cole, Kendrick. People want it. They just didn't have somebody to give it to them on that level.
Yeah, it's got to be
how
communicated in a certain
because how J. Cole and Kendrick give it to you, it's on another level, and it's on a high tier rap and a different frequency.
So yes, you are right. So what you started seeing, what you see now, is when you go to these top radio stations, they won't play J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar as much as they play Amigos.
No, because people gonna call them in. I mean, it's all about the money, man. It's all about money. It's all about money. That's all rap. That's all rap is, man. It's just about money.
So now, you know, I'm on TikTok now, and I can't get this thing off my head. You know, now I'm watching white women. You know, boom, boom, boom. You know, walk, and I'm sitting here watching white women with big, like, oh, what the hell is going on right now?
But like I was saying, go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna finish up and just say, I can't get it out of my head that now when I'm in society, that's all I see, and I'm sitting here watching somebody like, oh, boom, boom.
Yeah. But it goes back to what I'm saying about how black people drive culture, right? It's just that, you know what I mean, TikTok, I read an article about how a lot of these the white influencers, how they take dances and they take AAVE, right? And they create these videos and they make money off of how we speak. They make money off how we dance, you know what I mean? They make money off our fashion, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, you know, we drive culture. We just have to drive the culture and the politics portion of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I say we been hijacked.
Entertainment. Nah, that's why I say I don't.
No, I'm talking about hijack. Hijacking, I mean, is we don't benefit off our culture. We don't.
No, I agree.
That's why I say we'll make it, and then somebody will take it, and like John said, they will bastardize it, or whatever he said. They'll like when we do twerking. Somebody probably did twerking on a thing as a little video, but now it's like you see it everywhere, and and you see white influencers doing it and making money off of it. And we don't make no money off of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you know, they have the machine to know how to capitalize off of it financially.
And
We
white people
don't have
support it.
that.
They support each other.
Correct, correct. And this is what we have in our culture. Just the issue of, you know, I was just telling the wife, like, look, man, at the end of the day, we have to you have to be black on purpose. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Which means shop black on purpose. Like we have to do it on purpose. Because what happens is we live in such a uh a white culture that we don't realize that they don't really support us like we support us.
yeah.
And we forget in our daily travels. So in that daily travels, we getting left behind because we're participating. And this is where we gotta be, you know, we gotta be black on purpose. Be, because we are leaving our own behind because of it.
But that goes. We gotta get more organized.
Yeah.
If we get more, I think that's what happened to us. We used to be more organized, and that's why you saw us doing more, and we were sticking together more because we all had the agenda. Everybody got taught like like the preachers. All preachers would meet, and then they'll go, all right, this we're gonna say in our church, and they'll distribute that same information to all their churches. So it all, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that no more. Each preacher doing their own little thing, like
Yeah.
like people doing their own little thing, don't want to link up no more. Like it's all disorganized, and I think if we get organized at the head and then filter it down, because
No,
people
yeah,
need to be
no,
laid.
Can y'all hear me?
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear
exactly.
you. But no, I totally agree. Because no, you know, with this social media thing, everybody wants to be the head. Everybody wants to be the guy. Everybody want to be the boss. So with that being said, like nobody wants to sit back and get behind a a bigger structure than them. And this it's creating a problem because the thought of individuality is becoming what is fracturing us, and we're not there yet. They're there. As far as culture group, white people can be whatever individuals they want.
White people not.
We're not there yet. Yeah, well, yeah, but we're not there. As a group of people, we're not at the point where we can be complete individuals.
But I don't think we was meant. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just end it by saying, you know, and I talked to Tay about this. That whole thing of using "we're not a monolith" is becoming an excuse for individuality.
But
Yeah,
as you were saying, I don't think we was black. We weren't meant to be individually like that. We individuals, but we was meant to act like the ant or the bees.
Mm-hmm.
We had that philosophy, work like the bees and the ants, and we lost that philosophy. Like we lost that philosophy of looking at insects and see how they build colonies and stuff, and then how they work, and using that into our own infrastructure. And that's how we as a people we grew because we had that ant philosophy and that bee philosophy that we worked like everybody had their thing to do and they did it without complaining. They just knew what they had to do and their part. And I think if people because people want a bigger part than what they had. They have. Everybody want to be the leader, but everybody don't want. Everybody want to be Martin Luther King up until he gets shot.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Hold up. You can
Yeah,
take
you know, I think that's I think that we still have it. Honestly, I do. I think it's just we're just seeing that I think we're just living in that historical moment to where we're just seeing the pieces that are moving at one time. You know, we're seeing people move from certain socioeconomic statuses moving up. We're seeing people move from the south to the north, you know what I mean, moving from the west back east, you know, to create those communities and those messages, man. And I still say that you know, yeah, part of that is that we have to be deliberate in our messaging, man. What, you know what I mean, what it is that we have to lift all boats, right? We have to think as we, you know what I mean, instead of individuals like you guys are saying. And we have to, you know, and that message has to be around economics, because we are moving out of certain economic statuses. And we're moving into, you know, the suburbs, right? That's why Donald Trump was saying, you know, trying to protect suburban moms, you know, quote unquote suburban moms, you know what I'm saying? Because black people are moving into the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? And that's a byproduct of black people getting better jobs. It's a byproduct of black people getting more skilled and more educated, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So I think that
Black Lives Matter is coming to your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's coming to your
exact
neighborhood.
Words.
Yeah. And that's what he was talking about. He was talking about all these black people, you know, in the socioeconomic, these things that this historical moment that's happened, this diaspora or this other migration that's happening, of people moving back. And again, I still think that we have a responsibility as a culture to say what message get put out there, man, and what we put out there, because we could sit here and talk about it all day, but really if you're not the focal point that's pushing out that message, or you keep pushing out, you know what I mean, the negative stereotypes and stuff, then they're gonna always be there, you know,
right. Like we gotta get in, like I said, we gotta get our stuff back from being hijacked. We gotta control more of our information. We don't control our information too much. Well, now we can, because we got the middleman is cut out right now. That's why you see a lot of us advancing now, because now the middleman is out the way. That's why a lot of black people are advancing more now too, because we don't have to go through channels that used to hinder us from getting into things.
That now hindered our parents and our grandparents. Yeah.
We don't have that no more. Mm-hmm. We cut the whole middleman out when we go straight to direct. Like, so much information is out there now. Like, you can get it, you can get whatever. So that's why wealth is getting built in our thing, because we have the information now. Mm-hmm. You can YouTube it, and you can go after what you want to go after. Mm-hmm. And that's why I said we gotta like these podcasts and YouTubes, and if we can't get our own information, tell our own information, tell our own story.
So there is a lot out there, and like we talking about in the media, there, you know, there's the Black News Channel that's out there. Yeah. Of course, Roland Martin's out there. There's a bunch of independent black on the left and the right opinion, you know, channels out there on YouTube. But I think that if you're going to be an individual out there that's talking about pro-black this, whether you are on the right or on the left, then yes, that message has to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that there's people on the right who are black, but they're not pro-black, right? And there are people on the right. Did I say it right already? There are people both on the left and the right who are not pro-black. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they don't push a pro-black message. But then there's a number of people who are pro-black on the left and the right. And we just need to push the same message. You know what I'm saying? The same economic message, you know what I'm saying? So get people to, you know, invest, buy homes, You know what I'm saying? Do what you guys are doing, investing.
And
You know what I'm saying? Flipping houses. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that stuff. And that's what I'm saying when I talk about like, hey man, we got to push the positivity, man. We got to push people, elevate, John, JY for, what I mean, for flipping a house. We got to elevate, BY for, what I'm saying, investing in stocks and knowing how to do writing books. Like, let's push that stuff, man. Let's stop with this. Like it's cool for it to be in the background. Look, if you want to listen to WAP and watch a WAP video, let that be in the background, man. Let that be in the background. I think we're missing a good moment in another black power movement, black power movement, and we'll talk about that when we talk about Black Lives Matter on the 13th of June.
So you're actually touching on what me and B was saying before we kind of cut out, being black on purpose. Because that's what it is. Like you're being black on purpose, which means, man, majority of us are really trying to do good and trying to, establish a business, establish wealth, trying to, sustain our jobs, gaining our career, so forth. And we don't focus on that enough, which when you go to social media, all you see is either something ratchet from us or something from the hood.
Something from the hood.
Yeah. And that becomes the narrative of what being black is. And it's just like, no.
Yeah.
My purpose is something different.
Right.
I come from the hood.
Yeah.
I know what it is to be hood. I jugged in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, when I really found a purpose for my blackness, I started saying, you know what? Nah, I need to go ahead and make this move.
But I think we need to start teaching that at home, like how mom used to do with us. That say who we are. Like, even if you don't see it in yourself right now,
right?
Say it. Like, build that in your kids and stuff.
Yeah, man, because there's enough entities out there who are trying to take away your blackness, man. Again, a lot of that stuff's coming from the right, man. And I know, let's just, this is that moment, man. We're just going to have a segment, call a thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just call it what it is, man. It's coming from the right, man. And the right wants you to be anti-black, man. Right wants you to be, don't want your blackness to shine, don't want your blackness to leak through, man. To hinder you, man. And again, I don't understand black Republicans who want to funnel black bodies and black votes to an ideology, a party that's hostile to blackness. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, gentlemen.
No, I think we did establish that. Money.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here, man. Final thoughts, Brian. You want to go ahead?
I just say, my final thoughts. Let's get back to being gods. And I think things are coming into place and we moving, but people don't see it moving. But we are moving back to what you talking about, Sean. I think I can see it. I think I see how far we came from a couple years ago. What we are now. We more black businesses are getting promoted online. More millionaires. Like the most black millionaires just came out of like last year and this year. If you Google it, like, you know what I'm saying. So I think it's just not. You don't see it like.
We got to promote it, man. We got to promote it.
Yeah, I think we got. I think it's in the works. I think it's going.
Yeah, we got to promote it. John.
Man, I'm gonna chime off of what BY said. Look, man, if you think this last 52, 53 years that we've been technically completely free, and you afraid on the right, man, wait till the next 50 years. Because if you see what we doing today in 2021 and what restraints that you know, right, left, or liberal try to put on people of color work,
Oh, you
we're
cut out,
gonna
John.
jug through this.
You got to repeat that. You cut out for a little bit.
No, no, I was just sitting here saying, like, it, technically, T3, uh, when you're talking about no Jim Crow and all of those other things that was going on, and when you're talking about now in 2021, what we are seeing with black women being the most educated, um, also black people gaining more businesses and so forth, in these last few years, if you think you are terrified now in 2021, all the right has to do, and liberals who's trying to block it and stop it, we're still gonna move. We're gonna jig through this like we always have.
Yeah. Yeah, man. My final thought is that, you know, is a political one, man. Is that, you know, if anybody out there is telling you to ban or CRT, or you feel like CRT needs to be banned, man, again, you would have been if you're black and you're saying banning CRT, you would have told on Nat Turner. Harriet Tubman would have shot you. If you are white, saying ban CRT, you would have told on my ancestors for learning how to write, learning how to read. You know what I'm saying? You know, and when it comes to the political spectrum, yeah, we need to go back to Gary, Indiana, and I think I'm gonna do a podcast on that one, on the Gary, Indiana convention where Jesse Jackson and Jesse Jackson be getting heat from black people that's not deserved, I think, the more that I'm researching. But Jesse Jackson got black people together in Gary, Indiana, all black people, to form a national black party, and it was conservatives, liberals, and everybody in between, to perform to get a national black party and to have one black message. You could look that up, man, and of course it fell through. So I think that we need to get back to most definitely having one message, one voice, one beat drum, and then or one voice, beat, our heartbeat on one drum, like goodness gracious, man, Ghost knocking down my stuff. But you know, we need to make sure that we can dang, I lost my train of thought there. I lost my train of thought, man.
One voice, one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We just need to have one voice, man. Get back to promoting. We need to just promote positivity, man. Promote positivity in our culture, man. Promote positivity in our ethnicity. Remember, we are an ethnic group. Black people are an ethnic group, man. Whether you call yourself African American or black, we are an ethnic group. We are a culture, man. We drive culture in this country. And we can't make it without each other, man. So we need to start uplifting each other, man. All right. So,
Man, I'm sorry, man. Because you said Jesse Jackson, man. What? Look, Bernie Sanders took Jesse Jackson's platform from 1988, man.
he did. That's why I said.
So,
Look, we got to do a podcast on Jesse Jackson, because I think black people get Jesse Jackson wrong. We've been misled on Jesse Jackson, as I think. That more I'm researching about Gary, Indiana, about 1988, about 1984, and Jesse Jackson's platform. Yeah, man, give that man his roses, man. Give that man his roses. That's all I'm gonna say.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyway, all right, man. Hey, we the three bros, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Please join us. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, man. We'll be talking about Black Lives Matter and the turmoil and everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter. We'll be talking about the movement, about the music that whether the music stayed with the movement and things of that nature. We'll probably hit on a lot of things we talked about today, man. But hey, man, appreciate you, and you guys out there have a great week. And don't forget, make sure you research the Tulsa Massacre and the other massacres that happened in this country around 1919 to 1947, I think. But anyway, all right, we out here.
Like, share, subscribe.
Moon, you know what I'm saying?
What he said.
Yeah.